Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another playthrough of Gates. So, a little bit of an update for my channel currently. Um, I'm doing another Gates playthrough, and will most likely be doing um, more of this game in particular, and maybe Tin Helm and Tin Realm, just because I don't have a lot of motivation to record and play games right now. And not only that, games like Final Girl, for some reason, have just been like completely out to get me recently. Like, I have tried to record and get good gameplay for like another Final Girl video or something, but every time I do, the game just does something completely insane on the first turn that's like kind of entertaining, but also just like makes the rest of the game kind of miserable to watch. Um, for example, I tried to record gameplay of a blind playthrough with Grandma because I haven't uploaded a video of me playing as her yet. But the problem was I was trying to play Grandma against the Big Bad Wolf, and then on the very first turn, the first terror card would be the like Once Upon a Full Moon card, which makes you roll a die and then place the killer somewhere and then kill all the victims in that space. And so what happened was I rolled the die, the Big Bad Wolf went to a space, killed two victims immediately, flipped their dark power on the very first turn, and then the dark power was Ravenous Hunger, which made them jump to another space with the most victims, and then killed three more victims. So five victims died on the very first turn. And then after that, the wolf was in slay mode for the rest of the game and killed enough victims to prevent me from getting my ultimate online. And it was like, it just inevitably ended in a loss and wasn't like the first turn was interesting, but then everything after that just kind of fell apart, as you might imagine, after getting five deaths on the first turn. And then I tried to do another video of just a random using the app to randomly select a combination. And I got Billy the Bear at Wolf Asylum. And so I tried to play that. And on the first turn, I did what I normally do. I discarded cards to get like two sprints, a distraction, and like something else. And then what would happen? I drew the very first tarot card, and it was the tarot card called, I think, What Is This Place Doing to Me? And it forces you to just draw two side effect cards. And the first side effect card was Paralyzation, so I had to discard, on the very first turn, I had to discard both walks and both sprints. And what that meant was turn one, I didn't move because I just discarded cards to gain cards. Turn two, I couldn't move because I discarded all the cards. And then turn three, I couldn't move either because they were discarded on turn two. And so I couldn't buy them back for turn three. And so I couldn't move until turn four. That is nearly halfway until the finale happens, where I just couldn't move at all. All I could really do was just use distractions, and that was about it. So I couldn't move around the map to get pills. I couldn't move around the map to turn off the power nodes for Billy. I couldn't move around the map to kill the buddies that Billy was spawning. And so just being unable to move for half the game basically just made the first few turns uninteresting. And then I was so far behind by the finale that I just kind of keeled over and died. So that game wasn't super interesting either. And so it just feels like Final Girl is just really trying to make it as unfun for me as possible to play. And since I just don't have the motivation to deal with that right now, I figured I'll just play these little mint tin games because they're usually faster, which means they're faster to edit, which means that it doesn't take as much work for me to upload them on a daily basis, whereas something like Final Girl or Spirit Island can take upwards of an hour to play, and then it would take obviously I have to rewatch the whole thing and make sure I correct any misplays or anything. So then it takes well over an hour to edit it. So like a Final Girl or Spirit Island video could take like upwards of 3 to 4 hours to like make sure it comes out, and then that's just one video for one day. So for now, I'll just stick with these. These take like less than 30 minutes usually, so I can usually like play a game and then edit it and have one video be ready in like an hour. So I can record a few of these and then kind of get ahead on videos. So that way I can have a few days where I take a break from recording and editing, but stuff is still getting uploaded. So that's my plan currently. I'm probably going to be playing a lot more of these Minton games just because they're easier for me. And also I feel like they are less likely to give me nothing burger games like Final Girl seems to be giving me lately. So that's the plan. Anyway, let's play some Gates, shall we? That's what you're all here for, and not to listen to me ramble about stuff that you might not care about. So I'm going to take the starting cards and shuffle them up, and then draw 2 at random, and then pick 1. So shuffle these up. Draw 2. We've got the Storyteller and the Farmer, and for the next one, I will grab the Peddler. Okay. So the Peddler, the Farmer, and the Storyteller are our 3 starting cards. And then our shop is going to be the Nomad, the Guardian, the Mercenary, and the Merchant. Okay, those are interesting cards. We have 3 cards that cost 5 and the Mercenary. And then our first enemy is going to be the Spider. Okay. So, what do I want to do? I'm going to... I don't have the guard, so I have nothing that deals damage, which is a little unfortunate. I'm going to use the 1 income from the farm and the Storyteller's ability to recruiting a citizen costs 1 less gold this turn. So Mercenary only costs 1 and everything else costs 4. So I'm going to use the 1 income from the farm to just buy the Mercenary without even needing to spend a card from my hand. That seems pretty good. And then we have the Champion. Fascinating. Okay. So now I have 3 income left, which means I can't buy anything. You know, now that I'm looking at it, I probably should have bought one of the more expensive ones. Yeah, I definitely should have bought one of the more expensive ones. I'm actually gonna backtrack on that. I apologize. Instead, I'm going to use 3 income plus 1 from the farm is 4 income, and then Storyteller makes them cost 1 less, so I can purchase something for 5 income. And I'm going to grab the Guardian. So the Guardian has 2 repair, 2 calm, and 2 damage, and that will use these 2. So I'm left with Storyteller who can repair or calm. Everything's at full health and nothing needs calmed, so that is that. The Spider is going to deal 1 damage to my gate and then increase fear by 1, which will add a random hero into my discard. Then it will move over, and our next monster will be the Skelipede. Okay, so time to shuffle these up, and then I will draw 3 cards. And for those of you that are curious about what's been going on and why I've suddenly lost motivation to record and upload videos, it's because I basically lost someone very important to me recently. They didn't die, but we're not talking anymore, and it's been very difficult. So that is why I don't have a lot of energy at the moment. It's hard to get joy from stuff lately, especially when the things you enjoy seem actively out to get you, like Final Girl is right now. But I've been playing a lot of Palworld recently, and Palworld is actually a grand time. If any of you have not played Pal World yet, you probably should. It's pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to draw 3 cards. We have the Peddler, the Guardian, and the Farmer. People are yapping outside. I also called off work today. I was supposed to be working this morning, but I chose to do this instead because I was up till like 4:30 a.m. just just thinking about stuff, as one tends to do late at night. So I'll use the Guardian to deal 2 damage, plus 1 from the tower to deal 3 damage. I will just kill the Skelipede outright. I think... And then I have 3 income plus 1 from the farm, so a total of 4 income. I will spend... You know what? I'll actually kill the spider. Leave the Skelipede there, and then I'll use 2 income to grab the mercenary, and then I'll use another 2 income to build a barricade in front of the tower. Normally the Skelipede is a much bigger threat than the spider, but the spider will increase fear if I kill the Skelipede first, and then it'll deal damage to my farm and the gate. Whereas if I kill the spider first, Skelipede doesn't increase fear, so my farm will be safe, and I can prevent the damage to the tower by just putting up a barricade. So that's why I am leaving the Skelipede alive. But anyway, Skelipede will attack the tower, barricade will block it, and deal 1 damage to the Skelipede. It will move over, and the next enemy will be the Lost Corpse. So now I may not calm my citizens while the Lost Corpse is active. So I will draw 3 cards, Storyteller, Baroness, and then shuffle these up and draw 1. The Peddler. Okay, so I have a ton of gold right now. I'm going to use 1 gold from the farm. No, I can't use 1 gold from the farm. Okay, so hang on. So I have 6 plus 1 from the farm, so I have 7 income, and the Storyteller reduces the cost of citizens this turn. So Champion only costs 5, Nomad costs 4. So I'm going to have I'm going to use the Baroness for 4, plus 1 from the farm. That's 5 to buy the Champion, which only costs 5. So that is a 1-card Champion purchase. That's kind of insane. And then I will use 2 income from the Peddler to purchase the Call to Arms to deal 1 damage, and then that will get bumped by the tower by 1. So I can either kill the Skelipede or the Lost Corpse. And I think I'm going to kill the Skelipede. So that will deal 2 damage to the Skelipede and kill it. And then I will use the Storyteller to calm for 1 on the... Oh, no, I can't calm. Ooh, I guess I'll just repair for 1 on the gate, putting it back to full. Okay. I can't calm because the Lost Corpse prevents me from calming. Unfortunate. But anyway, that's it for that turn. Lost Corpse is going to deal 1 damage to the mill, and then increase fear by 1, dealing another damage to the farm. Then this will move over and reveal the next wave 1 enemy. We have the Flyclops. 3 health, deals 1 damage to the tavern, and increases fear by 1. I will draw 3 cards. We have the Farmer, the Guardian, and the Mercenary. Ooh, we got some damage. So I'm going to use the Mercenary to deal 2 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower, so 3 damage, and that will just kill the Flyclops. And then I will use the Guardian to do another 2 damage to just kill the Lost Corpse. And then I will use the Farmer's 1 income bumped by 1 from the farm to... I'm going to calm, and because the tavern is still up, I get +1 when calming once per turn. So I'm going to calm for 2. Okay. So next enemy is going to be the Rat Lord, and then I'm going to shuffle these up and draw 3 cards. Our deck is looking very strong right now. We've got a lot of damage in here. So draw the Storyteller, the Farmer, and the Champion. So I'm immediately going to use the Champion to deal 3 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower. So that is a whopping 4 damage. And then I'm going to use 1 income from the Farmer, bumped by 1 from the farm, to build a barricade in front of the gate. And then I will use the Storyteller to repair 1 to the farm. Okay, so the Rat Lord's going to attempt to deal 2 damage to the gate. The barricade will block it and then deal 1 damage back. And now I really, really hope it is not the Blood Monk. Blood Monk would be pretty brutal. Vilestalker, okay. So now with the Vilestalker out, I can no longer recruit any citizens to my deck, which is a little unfortunate, but I think I'll manage. So draw 3 cards. We got the Peddler, the Guardian, and the Mercenary. I will use the Mercenary to deal 2 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower, so 3 damage. So 1 is enough to kill the Rat Lord, and then 2 will move over to the Vilestalker. Then I will use the Guardian to deal 2 damage more to the Vilestalker, and then I will use the Peddler's 2 income to put up a barricade in front of the tavern, and then the Vilestalker will attempt to attack the tavern, and then the barricade will block the damage, deal 1 damage back to the Vilestalker, and kill it as well. Whew! Alright, we are doing some damage. So wave 2, we have the Shell Spawn. So the Shell Spawn's pretty spooky. 4 HP, deals 2 damage to the mill, inflicts 1 fear, and then the Shell Spawn ignores barricades. So if it gets an attack, it's going to do damage. So shuffle these up, draw 3. We have Storyteller, Farmer, and the Champion. Huh, weird. I swear I just shuffled those. But anyway, I'm going to use the Champion to do 3 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower. That's 4 damage. That is a 1-card Shell Spawn kill. And so now I have 1 income from the Farmer, 1 income from the farm. So that's 2 income, and recruiting costs 1 less. So I can buy something that costs 3, which would be this Craftsman up here, which has 1 income to repair 1 damage and +1 when repairing the farm or gate, which is fine, I guess. But I think I'm just going to use the Storyteller to repair the mill for 1, and then I'm going to use the Farmer to 1 income +1 from the farm. Barricades only cost 2. I'm going to place a barricade in front of the tower. Okay, so next enemy, we get the Rotworm. 5 health, deals 2 damage to the farm, inflicts fear by 1. We're going to draw 3 cards. We're going to get the Peddler, Mercenary, and Guardian again. We're going to use the Mercenary to deal 2 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower. That's 3 damage. And then I'm going to use the Guardian to deal 2 more damage. That's a total of 5 damage. Now I have the Peddler, 2 income, +1 from the farm. That's 3 income once again. And I don't have a lot that I can spend it on, because I really don't want that Craftsman. I feel like the Craftsman is going to kind of bloat my deck with stuff that I don't need. So I'm just going to put down another barricade in front of the farm. Now we have the wave 3 enemy, the Abomination. 6 health, 2 damage to the farm, 1 fear. So same thing as the Rotworm, just a little bulkier. So I'm going to shuffle these up and then see if I draw them in the exact same order once again. We have the Storyteller, the Guardian, and the Champion. Okay, so we did not draw them in the same order. So Champion and Guardian, this is 5 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower. That's 6 damage. That is enough to just outright kill the Abomination. Now, Storyteller, I have 1 repair and 1 calm. Unfortunately, everything is fully repaired, and my calm is at 0, so the Storyteller does nothing. Next wave 3 enemy, the Gravelord. 7 HP, it just keeps going up. 7 HP, 1 damage to each location, and increase fear by 1. I will draw 3 cards. We have the Peddler, the Mercenary, and the Farmer. So I will use the Mercenary. 2 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower. That's 3 damage, nearly half its health from 1 card. Then I have the Peddler, the Farmer. And you know what? I'm going to use 3 income, bumped by 1 from the farm. That's 4 income. And so here's the thing. I can either place down 2 barricades, which will have it deal 4 damage to itself and die from the barricade damage, or I can buy the Martyr now, so that way I can just insta-kill any enemy later, including Zogar, at the cost of taking a little bit more damage and still having to deal with the Gravelord later. And I think I'm going to take the Martyr in exchange for having an easier end game. So Gravelord is going to deal 1 damage to the farm, take 1 damage, deal 1 damage to the mill, deal 1 damage to the gate, deal 1 damage to the tavern, deal 1 damage to the tower, and take 1 damage. So it's at 5 damage, and then increase fear by 1, adding a random hero to the discard. Schmoves over, and another wave 3 enemy is the Blight Golem. Okay, so I'm going to shovel all these up, and then we will see what happens. It's going okay so far. I think this is a pretty critical draw. If I draw nothing but starter cards here, I'm gonna be pretty sad. I need something pretty juicy here. So we've got the Storyteller, the Farmer, and the Peddler. So you see what I mean when I say that the games that I play recently have just been like kind of low-key hating me? That's okay. I think I can still make it work. It's just annoying. Oh boy. We're going to use 2 income from the Peddler to purchase Call to Arms, which will deal 1 damage. Bumped by 1 from the tower is 2 damage. That will kill the Gravelord. Then I haven't used my extra income from the farm yet, so I will use the Farmer's 1 income bumped by 1 from the farm to purchase a barricade in front of the gate, and then I will use the Storyteller to calm for 1 on the Pyramid. Okay, so Blight Golem will attempt to deal 2 damage to the gate, the barricade will block it and deal 1 damage back, and then it will increase fear by 2, giving us another random hero into our discard, and dealing 1 damage to the farm. Then the Blight Golem will move over. Next wave 3 enemy, the Devourer. 6 HP, deal 1 damage to each location, and increase fear by 1. So, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, we got the Traveler. Traveler is big. So Traveler has 1 of every stat, and then he may draw 2 more cards. So I will draw the Mercenary and the Guardian. That's so big. Look at all this damage we got. We got 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. I don't even need to use the Martyr this turn. I thought I was going to maybe have to use the Martyr, but now I can try to save it for Zogar and see if we can just draw it next turn and just get an insta-kill. That's so good. So Champion, 3 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower is 4 damage. And I will do that to the Devourer. Then 2 damage from the Guardian will kill the Devourer. 2 damage from the Mercenary to the Blight Golem. And then I will use 1 income bumped by 1 from the farm to purchase a barricade in front of the gate. And then I'm going to use the Martyr to calm for 1. But because the Tavern still has 2 health, it will calm for 2. Then the Blight Golem will attempt to attack the gate, deal no damage, take 1 damage, increase fear by 2, giving us another random hero card to our deck, and then the farm will take 1 damage, so I'm no longer getting the bonus income from the farm, and then we will reveal Zogar. So if I draw, right now, if I draw the Martyr, I will be able to deal 1 damage to the Blight Golem, bumped by 1 from the tower, which will deal 2 damage and kill it, and then I can trash it from my deck to just insta-kill Zogar. So right now, Martyr is just an insta-win button. So let's see if we can draw it. We get the Farmer, no. We get the Knight, which is incredible, and the Mercenary. Okay, so no Martyr, unfortunately, but we get the Knight, which deals 4 damage, bumped by 1 from the tower is 5 damage. Wowie. 5 damage. Do I want to deal it to Zogar or the Blight Golem? Unfortunately, it's not actually enough to kill Zogar. So I will deal 2 damage to Blight Golem, and then 3 damage will carry over to Zogar. Okay. And then I will deal 2 damage with the Mercenary. So that's 5. And then I will use the Farmer to repair 2 to the farm. Because it gets 1 repair, bumped by 1 when repairing the farm. So farm's back at max health, and then Zogar will deal 2 damage to every single building. So 3, mill dies, gate goes down by 2, tavern explodes, the tower goes down to 3, and then increase fear by 2, dealing 2 more damage to the tower, putting it down to 1. And then we'll draw 3 cards. We get the Sorceress, the Peddler, and the Martyr. There it is. So I will simply trash the Martyr from my deck, because those who don't know, Martyr says you may trash this card to defeat a single enemy. So I will simply trash the Martyr and immediately kill Zogar. So there you have it, everyone. That was another playthrough of Gates. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.